After the hour, so I think I will get things going now. So welcome to everybody. I would like to thank you very much for joining us today. We're looking forward. This is the second in our series. I'm looking forward to discussing with our colleague Sak Hutanawatra. He is the chair of ICMCI Thailand. He owns his own investment firm, and he's going to be sharing the experiences that he's had in terms of dealing with clients. So as we go ahead, we're going to be having a short discussion about this. I have one slide which you just saw, and which I will do to open, and then a few points from that one. I'm thinking in terms of logistics. What I'm going to suggest is that we turn our microphones and our cameras off during the presentation, because it's just going to be a lot easier for us to be able to hear what everyone else is saying. And if you have any questions, could you please put them in your chat box, because I will monitor that. And as we're going through, I will, as Sak is making his presentations, I will watch the chat. And then at the end of this, we'll have a moderated question and answer session, so I can ask those. The reason I'm asking that we do it this way is that we have a very large registration, and it's going to be very difficult if we try to manage everyone with microphones, and we won't be able to hear each other. This session will be recorded, and it will be posted on our YouTube channel. So you will have an opportunity to see this at any time in the future, and to refer it to your colleagues at different parts of if you know if you know of anyone who would be interested in the session, you'll be able to share it with them in that way. So as soon as it's posted, we will be sending around and giving everyone information about how to access that. I think those are the main points that I wanted to make this morning. Just before I move on, what I would like to do is thank Rima, our executive director. She's on the line. She has organized this initiative, and it's been very well responded to. So we know that institutes and management consultants around the world appreciate this opportunity to share ideas, to share experiences, and to ask questions of each other. And also thanks to Husseima, our executive assistant at the ICMCI Secretariat. She's managing all of the logistics, and she's kept us very well organized. She will also be managing the microphones and the cameras, so she will turn those off remotely if anyone accidentally turns them on or forgets. So we're at good participation at this point. We have well over 100 registered. There are 42 on now, and it's growing by the minute. So I know people are joining. So without further ado, let's get going with the sessions. I wanted, just before I turn it over to Sak, I just have two slides here which I wanted to share information with you about. The first one is that there's a lot of information available on this this website, MIT Sloan. It's they have a management review journal, and they've been publishing on the website a lot of good articles. And I found this one yesterday and read it, which is very interesting. And they talk about it being a long time until the economic new normal. And what they're really talking about is that leaders have to learn from this pandemic now, so that they can position their organizations as we go forward. So Alec Levinson had 5 points to make about this. The first one is that if you think about consumer sentiment and spending and savings, there's a lot has changed over the last while, and it's going to take some time before consumers start spending again. So even as the economy begins to open up, people are going to be nervous about their spending, and they're going to be really focusing in on their savings. So as a result, the economy is going to take a while. A lot of leaders around the world are saying it's going to be like a V curve. We're going to drop the economy quickly and it's going to rebound quickly. But many are saying, and the evidence seems to say, that we are in for a much longer recovery time. The second is that a lot of economies are regulating their markets, their labor markets, in different ways. So this creates unease in businesses, and as a result, the reinvestment that's going to be taking place may take longer than one would expect it to take. The third one is around business models, and I think all of us as consultants have seen this, that businesses are having to go through and look very closely at their current business model and figure out how new ones should be developed. And if we're going through a recession, this ends up in this concept of creative destruction. If an economy is growing, businesses stay fairly stable. When there's a recession or a pandemic or a major area of disruption such we've had, we find that businesses change a lot, and as a result, it takes a while for them to be back up at full operations. This whole concept of face-to-face work being disrupted is also going to change the way people think about working. And finally, this building resilience ahead of the next pandemic. The key takeaway I had from this one is that luckily, hopefully, we will have such a thing as a global pandemic only once a century, but it's been a real eye-opener for organizations in terms of the disruption. And as management consultants, the lessons we can learn here need to be carried forward so we can think about how we apply support to management consultants. As management consultants, how can we provide support to our clients during times of disruption, learn from these lessons, because other industries, although it may not happen on a global scale, other industries will be disrupted, other economies will be disrupted. We may be in a recession, which causes a form of disruption. So all of these lessons are very important for us to learn. So at ICMCI, we thought this was a very important series of lessons for us to learn. And then, so all of those things together, this particular paper is saying that the new economic normal is a long way off. So with that opening, I now want to turn it over to my dear friend and colleague, Sak Hunawatra. Sak is an investor. He manages firms. He's the chair of IMC Thailand. I know he's leading a rejuvenation of that institute. And we asked if he would address us and give us some of the insights that he's had dealing with his client organizations over the past weeks and months. And then at the end, we will open it up to discussions. And while Sak is talking, if you put any questions that you might have into the chat box, I will monitor those. So I'm going to stop my share now, and we'll give Sak a minute to get his screen share going, because he has some slides that he has prepared for us to give us to share some information and some insights that he has had. In the meantime, I'd like to welcome everyone that is now joining us from around the world. I see most of our participants are from Asia and Europe, although we have a few North Americans. It's dark here. It's in the middle of the night in the Americas, but I see, Sak, that people are so interested in your presentation. They're getting up to watch you. So, Sak, are you available now? Can we turn the screen over to you?
Thank you, Device. Thank you. Can you hear me, Device?
I can hear you perfectly. Yes.
Good, good. All right. Thank you very much, Device. Thank you for introduction. And good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, all the friends around the world. I don't know where are you all about, but basically, good. Nice to talk to all of you. The wife asked me to share a bit about basically how the situation that we are coping in Thailand here. In the last, I would say the 7 weeks, I've been very busy, and because of basically all the companies that I invested in, which is basically about 12 of them, and all in trouble at the same time, and maybe only 2 companies that is on the online business that is still good situation, and all the rest is very tough, and we're facing a lot of good challenge. And so I'm spending a good basically nearly 7 weeks working very hard with every company that basically we participate with, and gain a bit of experience. And I think that is what the Vice has asked me to share with basically all our friends here. And so I think that I will start with that. The Vice asked me to introduce a bit myself. I didn't know how to do it, but I just have a few slides. Basically, our organization called TVA, called it means Tiwa. In Thailand, the Tiwa means the light, but actually it's come from Transformation Valley Asia. All right. So basically, the picture you see there is our office. It's a little garden in the middle of Bangkok, and our institution is doing 3 different things. One, we do the institute, so we do a training. We have our own basically small school in our own garden, so we train up to about maybe 100 people in different kind of subject. And then we have the consulting part, absolutely, where we have the IMCT as our basic core. I myself in the investment banking and merger acquisition. So this is what we've been doing for the last many decades. And the last part is investment, where is we have our own venture capital fund, where we invest in different kind of business, mainly in tech related, and it's either fintech, educational tech, architect, agriculture tech. So most of the tech investment. So those are our little core business that we're doing today. And we are just we believe that we build what we call the community of for the people in between, where we make we believe that people need to make profit, but yet they have to do good thing for society and for environment. So we are very much eco-social business community, and where we believe the success, the well-being, and the society contribution can be handling, balancing at the same time. And so we just built this little garden, become a happy workplace. This is our office. We are meeting instead of a big square meeting room. We are meeting in the garden in somewhere and under the bush. This is our office here, and this is where we working in the office. We have little bell, and we lunch together every day, and we cook together every day. Everybody cook, and then we eat together. We wash the dishes, we make fertilizer, and we grow the veggie in our own garden. So we are not big company. We are now only 28 people. Most of them are investment banker and technology people, and we believe in sustainable simplicity. So we try to do things a lot more sustainable way, in the simplicity way. This is our way of life here. Now, coming back to the COVID and the global crisis. Now, it's very hard for me to share this with all my friends, because of everybody will have different opinion, and everyone will have different view, because we are living in a different part of the world. But I think by saying all that, I think it's nice to hear everybody's view. And so the next area is going to be my view, and where we are, our view from Asia, and where also we're in Bangkok, and the situation where I'm dealing with every day as we speak. This situation, I myself been through a lot of crisis in my life, and but this one is very different. I don't know how big it's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to take, and I don't even know how they're going to solve the problem. This is the situation I've been dealing in the last 2 months. Okay, the situation is getting a bit more clearer and clearer, but it's still a lot of gray area. And when you ask economists, everybody still talk different area. Until we have, I believe, the proper vaccine, then everything is more clear. If not, even the country where they're reopening, they get infected, they close down. So it's still a big yo-yo situation that's going on at the moment. So it's a very unpredictable situation where we are facing the gray area in the global situation. So that is basically the situation I view. And there are a few different options, that people take. Either you can sit and watching the news and COVID news and counting how many people get sick and die, getting panic and getting worried and getting stressed and then kind of sleep. Or basically some of them just try to put the head under the sand, ignore what's happening and do nothing. Or, bring all the energy, plan the strategy, and then finding the good consultant. I think for the moment of the situation, consultant becomes so important part because the people who are in the business, many times, they become, in Chinese we call mong cha cha, they become very confused. They don't even know what to do, what to think, because they are very, very concerned. So the consulting play a very important role for the moment. And many times they can't even pay for your consulting fees because they themselves also short of cash. But it's the best timing for you and all the consulting friends to gain a lot of close friends and helping them. And so I have sleepless for the last 7 weeks while everybody are working at home and I'm working my butt off, to basically help everyone. And the solution when they are what, after you shut down, just close down, or you temporarily close down, and many people take the temporary close down, let the employee leave without pay. Many times they cannot start again when they do that. So that is a very serious situation. And the third one is a continuity strategy. How can you continue the business? And the third one, basically out of basically all the companies that I work with, I shut down one, and then the rest of them, I continue the business. So I could not save one company because it's totally have no business at all. But the rest of the company, I be able to continue the business, but with a lot of painful situation. All right, so I don't talk about basically the first two. I just want to focus on the last one. And when we talk about the continuity strategy, I think for me, what I do, again, I'm sharing just only from my own experience. My first priority is people, and that means safety, and also the security of life, right? Safety becomes the first priority. I think many people work at home, but some of the work just cannot work at home, all right? So it means that you still have to, from time to time meeting up with people. So the safety, the protection, the mask, everything have to be, very in the first tier. Then the security is when everybody are worried about losing job, everybody worry about what they're going to make for their life. So both the rational and emotional is very important part for the people and your teamwork and your staff. And it is a very moment of truth where you are sacrificing a lot of yourself and save the staff. So that is where the leader count. So the first thing I think is people, safety, and security. The second part that I'm working very hard on is cash flow. I only throw away profit and loss. I only throw away the balance sheets, and I just work on the cash flow. All right. And there's a lot of things that we do on the cash flow. We can talk about that, for 2 days. But again, we bake with everything that we need. We save every single dollars in the company. All right. We negotiate with every bank, and we negotiate with every thing that we can negotiate, and we work very hard to save the cash inside the company. My rule of thumb is that they have to have enough cash for 6 months minimum. All right. So basically, that they have no income, the company still can continue. That's a very important rule of thumb. In a normal situation, I always plan the cash flow. The company must have 1 year cash flow. But this situation, I think 6 months will be sufficient to able to survive. The third part is cost saving. I think everybody know how to do that, cost cutting. But during this period, I think the cost cutting become extremely a new normal that you have to really doing it. And there's a lot of different way. And many times you don't even think about it, but in a normal situation. But during this situation, I think everything is count, all right? And to demonstrate to your staff, to your team, it's also very important part. The first one, basically, is all the people that you work with. Customer, supplier, banker, your partner and investor, and also all your alliance. It's a very, very important to have to keep the close communication. You know, I know that many times we have a very low emotional, but we need to communicate with all these people because of everybody will be very nervous. You know, in the bank, afraid you can't pay back. Investor or the partner afraid how we're going to handle that investment. You know, the supplier worry that can we pay the bill. The customer also worry, can we supplying the product, right? So everybody are worrying mode, right? So these are situations that will be going on in Thailand years. All right, so those are the areas where cross communication, honest, open, and basically very authentic. I think a very important part. And then the last part is the new opportunities. I mean that there are so many things that we may have to find a new opportunities. If you're in the basically the business that is no way is going to come back in the next 1 year, then you have to looking for a short-term solution, some low-hanging fruit. Basically, the company may have to do something that they never have to done before, and many companies generate their cash flow out of that. So I think that are the 5 strategies that basically we are executed here in Thailand. The next part is about the management. I think the under this situation, it's a little bit of conflict. I say it had to be participative management. It means you got to communicate with all the people that you work with very closely, transparently, and very clear. But yet you still need to make a centralization. It means you have to make hard decision and you have to basically fast decision, right? So basically, these are the situations that we are working on, and many times I urge the people to work hard, even work harder, and continue working because together we can survive. And and this is where it is. And many times we said participative is much more decentralized, but this one you have to be participative, but yet centralization under this situation. And again, you know, under this situation, the decision not to make decision is not the option. So we got to make decision, and many times we got to make hard decision. Every day I make hard decision, and it's very tough, you know, very tough. New opportunities and new business is opening up basically, and again, I believe that world will not going back and will not be the same again. So I think that we have to look into a new opportunities and a new business and a new business model, as the why just been mentioned. So the new mindset under this crisis, I think is very important. I think that we always believe there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it's a train coming, but sometimes it's a way out. So I think there is always a light. And I consider basically this is another like a World War III. I don't want to take this one light. I don't want to be basically patting ourselves on the back and said it's going to go away tomorrow, because it won't go away tomorrow. And so I consider this one like a war that we have to fight. And when we jump in the war, nothing can substitute the victory. So we got to save the company. We got to save the staff. We have to save the investor and also all the shareholder. I think that is our stake. And under the situation we are in, you know, why I say it's a World War III, because, you know, we have natural disaster coming to the situation. You know, you see all the problems happening around the world. You have the economic, not recession, I think it's the depression that's really going down. Basically, the world is overspending. We borrow a lot of money in very short period of time. We're going to be flood of money because we print a lot of money. We borrow a lot of money, and it's going to be the money flood, but without substance. So it's going to be a lot of inflation coming up, and and all the company that is overvaluation. You know, a lot of these new what we call startup overvaluation. You know, a lot of them, the share price is very high, the profit is very low. All right, so you can see all the big name of the company, they are losing money, but they buy the market share. So those manipulating of valuation of the company, I think when it's hit to this point, it's very dangerous. Okay, and then you have, you know, technology, the disruptive. You know, this one we all about, and now we have the last part. The COVID is a human disruptive. So these are, that's why I said that and all the situation happening at the same time. So I thought that is our World War III that we are fighting among ourselves here. So it's a big wave that we are hitting today. And I think basically, I would see that we are facing a new civilization. And I think the civilization that we are traveling very easy, go everywhere, get together. I think this is going to be changed. You know, everybody packed in the big concert hall, you know, going to the big party, big department store, it's going to be a new civilization. All right. And the lifestyle, I think it's going to be changed at the moment. Now, when we're going back, is the lifestyle going to get back or not? Is the big question mark. The business and supply chain, I think a lot of people rethink, okay? Because of we talk all the time globalization. But today, when you want to outsource and OEM the cheapest spare part across the world, but now you're missing one spare part because you kind of chip thing out, the whole production has to close down. So the localization, we rethink again very carefully. The cheapest item is not always the answers. Operation and management, I think is also going to be big changing. You know, we start learn how to work at home. In the beginning, I think the people don't work at home, they just sleep at home, right? So basically, but now I think with all kind of platform, technology, they can allow the people to work distant. I think the way that they employ the people will be changed. I think the job basis kind of employment will be more important. I think so I think this paradigm will be also a lot of changing. And again, job security and scope of work. I think the silo kind of business and the silo kind of employment is have to be changed. People have to be a bit more integrated. You have to be more broader to do different things, because now basically the situation is changed. All right. Besides the digital disruptive, I think this situation where everything have to cut down the cost, you have to be able to gear and cope with the situation in the different ways. So the new normal, it's a lot of new normal coming up, and that basically like we talk today, we are not, doing this Zoom, or basically the Zoom or the webinar is not the normal, but now it's become very new normal. All right. Working at home is become a new more normal. So there's a lot of things, shopping online become a very new normal. And when this thing happening and the people getting a habit of it, I think it's going to be very hard to change back. I think it's going to come back, but not all of it. So the unlearn and the relearn become very important, because you have to learn a lot of new things. And a lot of things that you learned in the past, it cannot be used anymore, especially during the COVID. After the COVID, I think it's also cannot use. So many times, even I work with 2 universities, they review the whole curriculum and what do they need to cope up with the situation. All right, so I think the new normal is unlearn and relearn. Problem and solution, I mean, basically problem, everybody used to be scared of problem, but problem is become a new normal because of everybody face problem. So basically just quickly find a solution that is fit. And again, you have to try and err. You can fail fast, fail smart, just make sure you rebound faster. So this is also the new normal that I think everybody have to accept, the short fall, the smart fall. Customer centric, I think become, it used to be just only the word, but now become very important, because the customer under different situation demand and have the pain point in different things. So this also become very important part. The text becomes so important as we speak now. Without technology, we cannot even speak together. All right. So tech become a really important part of life. But all those new normal, some old normal still very important part. And I think we can't forget all the new old normal, like thing to do every day. I think it's still very important, but keeping worry everything, but without listing the priority of what you need to do, I think it's going to be also getting nowhere. So daily thing to do is also become important of the old normal. And consistent and discipline also very important. As we talk, people when they start working at home, many of them are not used to working at home. We are consulting, maybe get used to it, but many of the staff and management not get used to it. So many times they just, lay on their bed, watching Netflix, So basically an old normal of consistent and discipline, also very important to go through this situation. And RT and C, I think it's a very old normal, respect, trust, and collaboration. I think it's still very important part. And even when we are more distant, the respect is still a very important part. Trust is also very important. And now, because we try to basically setting up the lean organization without a lot of burden on our organization. So working with other organizations as a collaboration is also very important. We are always get used to JV, joint venture. I think the JC become very important part, joint collaboration, all right? So it doesn't need always to be shareholder, but you can be partner in a different way. So, I think that I say that to all my partner, I said, don't keep waiting and don't keep asking when the situation going to be over, because nobody really know. We can guess, we can see all kinds of statistics. I don't even put one statistic on my slide because I think you can see it every day. But I think we just have to learn how to dance with the flow. It means we have to learn how to live with the situation. And it's going to be with us for 3 months, we live it 3 months. If it's going to be with us until the end of the year, we live it until the end of the year. And some of them say that they're going to be with us for 2 years, then we live it in 2 years, right? So I think that we just have to do our best every day, and then we just learn how to dance with the flow. And my last slide is, I think that this situation is bad because it make us a lot of problem, make all of us lose job, basically the business in trouble, and many people die. But again, it make up a big wake-up call that we are the guests and we are not the owner of this planet. We sleep in one old world and we wake up in one new world, right? Basically, Bangkok always have traffic jams. Today, Bangkok, no traffic, The airport, no people. So it's something very different. And when hug and kiss become a new weapon, visiting your parents become the act of love, And I said, the sky, the water is still, is doing fine, So it means that during the time that we are all in the cage and stay at home, right? So I think when we come back, we just have to remember that we are the guest and we are not the owner. And we have to rethink about how we are going to live in this world and help this world to become a better place to live for our generation and next generation. So that will be my input and for my point where I doing here. And the last part where I just want to leave before I left, give it back to the vice. At the moment, I believe that the consulting, like all of us, are the needed of the people. I am in the M&A, and investment. So everybody need basically some kind of money, some kind of joint venture. So it's a very big business. But many times, many other need it also. I think they need a good strategy, HR, even the marketing, all business opportunity. So everyone and every business need of consultant. But they may not be able to pay you well or even pay you at all because they are also in deep problem. But it's a very good time for you to gain a cross friendship during the crisis time. All right, so that will be my little input. I hope it helped a little bit and for all of us. And I wish all of you have good health. And basically, we hope we overcome this situation together soon. Thank you very much. And the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for the questions that you've been typing in. Several have come up, so let me ask them, Sak, if you don't mind giving us some answers. First of all, thank you for that very instructive and thorough commentary for all of us. I found those guidelines to be very helpful. The first question is from Jade. Good morning. Thanks for this opportunity. What is the best way to approach new clients or to find new prospects in this time?
Oh, I think for me it's the best timing to find a new prospect and because of they all need help in some certain way, and at the minimum, just only someone want to talk to. I'm sitting in my little garden. I am very glad to go out for my garden, but basically every day people come and talk to us. So I think that just all the lecturer situation, I think that you opening up yourself through all your network or basically all your social medias. A lot of people will love to come and basically talk. Even though I'm very restrict for the people to come because we are social distant here, but still a lot of people want to come. They need a solution, and most of them they need to know how to going to survive through the situation. And the major point for the situation today in everyone have, I would say, is going to be a cash flow.
Thank you. There's a question here also about SMEs, the small businesses, the micro businesses, marginalized groups. What do you think the impact might be on those that would be different? This is from Rakesh Patel.
You see, I'm not sure about the situation in other part of the world, but in Asia, especially in Thailand, majority of the money is come from the government. Thailand, basically, the government come out with 11 billion, right? 11 billion. Normally in Thailand, the whole country is about 3 billion budget per year. So they're spending 4-year advance budget into this situation. So the money is flat, right? And the money go through the bank. The bank also give a soft loan, basically to everybody. And the government do a lot of projects throughout the whole country to make sure the people have job, have work, and don't hungry. Structure development. So the company, you got to finding the way to work with those kind of things. Either work with a bigger company and alignment with them, or work direct to the government. I don't know how is other country, but in Thailand, that's what we do. And there's a lot of money because the government borrow the money. They get approval from the parliament to borrow over the money, and more than ever happening in our history.
Excellent, thank you. I've got 2 questions about production and supply chain. The first one is from Rakesh Patel. What changes should we make in the way we plan production and supplies?
Well, basically, as I mentioned, basically the supply chain that depending on a lot on importing item, and basically outsource from many different countries, and all the basically cheap item from China. Basically, maybe not the best solution anymore, because at the moment, basically even China already waking up, but basically many other countries, you got to have your self-sustainable supply. Food is very important part. In food industry, you got to make sure that basically you have your own food supply. Like Malaysia, I think Linda know better than me. You come out with a new policy of 30-30 express, right? 30% of all the food supply have to be controlled and managed by Singapore. A lot of these kind of policy coming up. So they are not going to, they're not, you want to eat some banana and you import it from Hawaii. This kind of situation is going to be changed, during this period. And even they urge the people to grow the veggie at home, So it's mean you have to be more and more localization and self-sustainable. Supply chain as well.
Wow, excellent, thank you. This is a question about your business, Zach. How will the new normal impact TVA's training form and the content of your training?
Is actually this morning that I before I come to join this meeting. Basically, I never tried online, okay? And actually in the old days, I don't even believe so much in online. And I myself, even I study a lot of things online because I interested in a lot of things. But the online education is become very new normal. And but we talk about that. I think the online, we are now working on what we call blend model, where basically partly you still have to meet each other, maybe 10% or 20%. A big part you can go online, and then there is a lot of LMS, learning management system, where it's guiding you to go through all the learning, even where basically the examination, all the way that you can do the PhD and master degree that I'm working with now. I work with 2 universities for something like this. So I think the LMS and the online learning will become very new normal, and that will be something that we are going to implement also, including the where I'm building up a new generation of consultant, and which I'm working on is as of every day. And we already have the last I think four group of the class that we develop a new generation of consultant, younger people, more technology, more updated kind of thing. So we are develop a new generation. But again, I'm going to move a lot into LMS, and online, but still yet having the offline integrated, so they still meet each other at the same time.
Thank you, Wilhelm, for that question. I appreciate it. The next question is from Salal, and this refers to the comments you made about connectivity, networking, partnerships. And he agrees these will all be important to the new ways of doing business. He's asking if you might give some examples of this.
Basically, many times, I'm not sure about other countries. In the situation here, when the people have problem, many times they're hiding. They're afraid to talk to people. They don't opening up. Sometimes they're shy because they have problem. And so they don't talk they don't lie, but they don't talk the whole truth. So for me, I think under this situation, we should just talk more, keep communicate more. I think now you have all kind of message communication tool, WhatsApp, WeChat, Line, Viber, everything. So explain to those people, talk to them. And especially if they are your shareholder, your investor, make sure that updated them. Tell them all the truth, and also tell them the solution that you work with. The supplier, also keep talk to them. Customer, very important part. So all these part, I think you will gain a lot more closer friend every time you have crisis. But also, if you don't manage it well, you will lose a lot of friends as well. So I think the communication and collaboration is happening, and use this opportunity to build a close communication and close friend.
This next question is from Cassandra, and it's a beautiful lead on from what you just said, and I'll read it all to you. How do we approach building trust for new business leaders? So much is usually shared through a handshake, through eye contact, through small talk in between the pitch negotiations. How do we do all of that in a virtual environment?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Especially my kind of business, like, we do merger acquisition and investment is very difficult. But what I'm doing in the last basically 7 weeks is be authentic, be truthful, be very open, sending basically over information, give them more, whatever they needed, and even more than they needed. So make sure that it's open like that and become very authentic. I think the respect, trust is become the very fundamental part of the business, and the not contract, not big, the signing by the big lawyer. I think it's very important part like that. And even when you're developing like a joint venture agreement, don't start with basically a draft MOU or the draft joint venture by the lawyer. I would recommend you start with commercial term, a bullet point. Make sure that you agree on all the bullet point and all the term before you send it to the lawyers. Because the lawyer is always going to write in your favor. And you tell your lawyer, you don't want to take advantage. You want a partner. You want a deal maker. you don't want a deal breaker, you know. So it's been very open, very short, and very easy to communicate. But by saying all this, it's difficult. And I hope the sky open, we can fly and we can shake hands, and a hug not become the weapon anymore.
Excellent. I do have a few more questions, which I'll read to you, but I'm seeing a whole series of very heartfelt thanks to you, Sak, for the information that you've given so far. So thank you. And I also notice in the chat box that Huseima has posted the links to all of our different social media. We've been working very hard under the leadership of Johanna, a director of the board, to implement new social marketing and to get those up and moving and keep them relevant for all members. So please do check those out. It's a great way for us to keep in touch between sessions such as these. So I'm scrolling through the thank yous. One in particular saying, "Dance with the flow" is the best motto I've heard in these times. Thank you. Here's the next question. Where do you suggest organizations need to focus their innovation efforts?
Very interesting question. I think after the COVID, I think it's still a lot of things will change. Okay, yes, some will go back to the old normal, but a lot of new normal will be there. Okay, so I would say that so we can see we develop organization to cope with the scale up. So we always want to build big company, bigger revenue, bigger profit. And so many times we have is yet to see, is it really the right way to do it? Okay, so basically to have a good reserve of cash in the company, like 6 months, I think it's I would say a good company, or 1 year is good, it's a real good company. Mm-hmm. Now, in the old day, we love to work with the word leverage. Okay, so it means that we have $100, we want to do $1 million, we leverage, you know. But sometimes when you're hitting this kind of situation, the leverage this doesn't work very well, right? So basically, I would say sometimes the conservative plus aggressive in the middle, somewhere like that, I think it's important part. So the technology, and I said it becomes so important part, and we got to be really tech intensity, and then because of you can reduce a lot of fixed overhead. And when the fixed overhead, or what we call the burning rate, is not really killing you when the good time and bad time come, because this situation is going to be hill and valley for some time. So basically maintain your fixed overhead, your break-even point, not so stiff, right? So it means those are the things that I think the mindset have to rethink. And so I think those are the things that they have to focus on. And then look at the business that the customer gonna need it. You know, the customer pain point after the COVID, what will happen? I would say that will become very important part. And some of the business is never gonna come back. So those are the business that it got to be liquidated. Then they have to make a big decision. And it's now the time come, right? So a lot of this situation. In Thailand, we believe nearly 53% of the company will be changed in some way, somehow.
Wow. It's actually related to that point, Sak. Konstantinos asks, how do you see cross-border business evolving as a result?
Cross-border is actually is my cup of tea, right? It's my business, as you know, Device. You know, we do M&A cross-border every day, right? I do all the cross-border investment, you know, all my life. So basically, cross-border become very important. But again, that will become so serious situation. As we speak, the M&A are getting very strong across the whole Asia area here. You know, when it's a bad time, it's a lot of investors love to invest in bad timing, right? So you know those points. So it's a lot of cross-border investment will be much more, but a lot of them will be more regional based, okay? And but cross regional happening also have, but I would say the regional will be a lot more. That's my take on. But it can be very big things. As of in Thailand, you know, basically the merger acquisition is a huge business. You know, buying and selling business become one of the major business across the whole area here, and the and we need both buyer and seller every day.
Thank you. Here's a question from Vera, and she's asking a question more about consulting than about our clients. First of all, she thanks you for your comments. The question is about your ideas on the consultant's own cash flows. How do you see this working in a situation when economic activity remains low for a long time and clients will be short of cash as well?
I didn't know how to answer the question. But normally I talk to, now we have about, I think, nearly 50 consulting people that I've been talking with, which basically half of them in difficult. And so basically we have to, they have to work harder, but get less income, okay? So the situation, and at the same time looking for a new client, and that's still be able to pay some consulting fee, and there are a lot of clients. So it means that they have to work harder and look for new client, and there will be always a client that have some cash that they can pay, and they also need your value contribution. A lot of them need help. I would say they nearly all of them need help. And many times when the problem happening like this, they cannot solve the problem by themselves. Just like the doctor, they shall not operating their own family. The lawyer should not basically take the case for their own family. The same thing like this. The situation like this, the business, they need outsider people to come and look at it without emotional and really come out with a clear strategy how to go about the situation.
I love that analogy about professionalism and the objective third-party oversight. That's very insightful. Thank you. This question is from Jade. I believe this is the time for management consultants to show their hero skills. They need to have a good vision. They need to be helpful. They have to find flexible solutions, and most importantly, inspire hope and to save businesses. Do you believe this is the right time to focus more on small and medium-sized businesses rather than on big businesses?
There are two things. I think there are two things. I always saying two things. One, I mean, the small and medium, they need a big help. And the, you know, every time it's a crisis, the leader is there. And the, I mean, the leader will happening and show up when it's a problem, right? So basically, and now it's a time that basically it's really a time to the consultant can shine during this period. Now, yes, SME gonna need a lot more help because of they are normally the survival period will be short, so they need more help. Okay, and but the bigger company normally can pay a bit more. All right, so maybe you need both. If you have a capability to do both, you may be able to make more money from the bigger company, and also you can even serve the smaller company basically with a very small fees. And many times the consultant for during this period, your business model and your fee model also have to be changed. All right, basically, and then the basically if you can tag your fees based on the outcome of the deliverable, that will be also more important. So the RSI, revenue sharing model based on the success become more sellable during this period. And the and I implement a few of this kind of deal, people love it. All right, so it means that they will hate to pay you cash from their own pocket, but they will love basically to share whatever they can make extra with you, because they can lose what they don't have, right? So these are the important point that I think the is a very best opportunity, I would say, for the consultant to show your hero. But you've got to know what you're doing, and really going in and help the people, get your hand dirty, and basically really helping them. And many times, the deliverable into the financial is important, but emotional help also big important, because many times when the people really lost hope, they give up, the family fight because of the cash flow, right? Or the partner fight. So many times you become a big brother and calm everybody down basically, and then let them basically stay focused and go with objective. That emotional help also very important for during this period.
Thank you very much, Sak. That's very insightful. Just to add my own comment to that one, I'm a strong believer also in SMEs. They're the engine of most economies, and they really do drive the economies. And it is a huge untapped market for management consultants. And I'm just thinking back to a conversation you and I had almost a year ago now, Sak, in terms of digitization of our products and services. So to the extent that we can leverage technology, we can deliver products and services to the big firms much more economically, but it also can make it affordable for SMEs as well. So we can keep both of these things in mind as we go forward. We're down to our last 3 minutes, and we will be stopping on the hour. So I do have a couple of questions left. I just noticed here one of our colleagues, a former chair, a past chair of the board of ICMCI, Francesco from Italy. Hello, welcome. Nice to see you.
Ciao.
Hello, Francesco. Hello, Francesco.
Hi, very inspiring. Very inspiring speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Francesco. Thank you very much. Sak, I'll make you work for the last couple of minutes, but while we're doing this, can everyone turn on your videos, please? We're going to do a screen capture so we can, on our social media, tell people about this event. Do you think, Sak from Nader Ashawa, do you think agility will be the innovation of the future?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we're losing bandwidth. What do you think agility will be? Do you think that agility, the concept of agility in organizations, will be a big innovation for the future?
I think it's going to be a very important part. I think it's going to be a very important part, and I think that will be, I would say, one of the good way to survive. One of the good way to survive. I think it's a very important part for that.
Thank you. And the last question in our last minute, how do you see the global CMCs, the Certified Management Consultants, collaborating together during and after COVID-19? And particularly, what are areas of collaboration for CMCs?
This is a big question, Mr. Chairman, okay?
Yes, perhaps it is.
Well, I would say that basically, you know, we are a very old organization, and we've been in this part of the world for a long time. I've been participating with basically the organization more than 10 years, and I see that basically the world is changing. All right, the world is changing, and and this COVID come, it makes us change faster and more. All right, immediately. So basically, as we are the consulting, I think we also need to change. And the way that we service the customer, the way that we work with the customer, and more important, the way that we're going to charge fee to the customer. Mm-hmm. And I think the customer need a different medicine for the different situation. And and again, they're going to need more consulting service than ever. Based on what I go through the last 7 weeks, I see that all the companies need consultants like air. So it's basically, we just have to basically evaluate ourselves, our mindset to work with the customer. I would say that this, I think, is going to be a lot of things changing. All right, how to change and how to do the best, I don't have all the absolute answer, but I believe that we got to have work with ourselves, also to change the way that we're going to work with the customer. That will be basically my last phase.
Thank you. And I would echo that. I think that those are wise words. And from the perspective of ICMCI, one of our key strategic initiatives is exactly in this area, particularly in terms of how do we affiliate those people who are now entering the consulting field as a business? How do we help them understand that it's a profession, it's not a part-time job, and it's not contract work, so that together we can build this profession of management consulting and continue to improve it as we go into the future. So in these changing times, the way we work together will also change, and it's going to be difficult, but it also brings with it its opportunities. Sak, my friend, I don't know how to thank you for all of this wonderful advice. We've made you work hard with all of these questions that we've asked you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And everyone now look at the camera and give a smile for us to do a screen capture for social media. If you have your camera on, turn it on. Oh, you're all such good, friendly, smiling faces. Are we okay, Husseima? Have we got it?
Just give me one other second to do the other page, because we have two
yes.
pages in here. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Just 1 second.
We forget how many people we have to manage now in these groups. So this is our best attended session yet. And I just really appreciate this opportunities to share information with each other. And we do have another series, so check out the ICMCI website, and you can find out upcoming events, and please do join us as often as you can in the future. You can learn from your colleagues, but we also want to be able to learn from you. So thank you very much. So we're 2 minutes past the hour. Sak, any closing words?
Well, I wish everybody safe and all the best, okay? The world needs you, the customer needs you, so go out there and fight, okay? And then we help everybody and keep in touch, huh? Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you again,
Thank
Sak.
you.
We really appreciate it. Thank you, Rima, again, for all
Thank
your
you.
support.
Thank you very
Husseima,
much.
thanks for the logistics. Bye, everyone. Have a great day or evening wherever you are.
Bye.